John Darvall.
BBC Radio Bristol.
Good morning. It's Friday. It's the 2nd of October. You and me together for the next few hours here on BBC Radio Bristol. And Bristol is in the midst of its Celebrating Age Festival. This started in 2007. It was launched last weekend. And Celebrating Age and the Celebrating Age Festival in Bristol, it applies to us all. Because one thing that you and I can guarantee is you are older now than you were when I started that sentence. We are all ageing. What is interesting about our ageing population is that for the first time ever, there are more people over the age of 65 than there are aged 16. There are 10 million people over the age of 65, and that number is set to grow. There are 14,000 people who are over 100. So we perhaps should be celebrating age, and we should be trying to find ways for us all to age better and age well. Now, there are some wonderful films that have been produced for the Celebrating Age Festival in Bristol. It's been produced by Bristol's Aardman Animations. Do you remember the Creature Comfort films? Of course you do. Everyone loved the Creature Comfort films. Well, it's in that vein. Real people voicing their feelings, their emotions about getting older, the realities of it, and it deals with the positives and the negatives. Put to some wonderful characters. Have a look at the BBC Radio Bristol Facebook page, and we're going to play you some audio in just a moment, but I want to introduce you now to the stars, the real voices that were used in those Aardman animations. I have Mike and Jackie from Bishopsworth. Jackie,
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mike, good morning.
Good morning, John.
And I've also got Albert from Eastville. Albert, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to start, if I may, with Mike and Jackie. You are obviously a couple, and you're a couple in the film. Well, your voices are in the film. You aren't in the film. Mike, just explain to people what character you play in the film. What is your character?
I play a rather large pig.
Yes, you do. And Jackie, you play
A squashed rabbit.
a squash rabbit. So you're playing a squash rabbit that I think it'd be fair to say that you are embedded into the backside of Mike's rather large pig.
Yeah.
You can have a look at this on Facebook. Do have a look at it. Now, this was recorded when? When did you record this, Jack?
A couple of months or a few weeks back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it a couple of months ago? Yeah, a couple of months ago.
Well, we never actually record it. It's just our voice. The chap comes to our house.
So he just recorded you talking about getting older?
Talking about anything.
Yeah,
Life. What
life,
we do.
okay.
What we do.
So you didn't know what you were doing it for, really? Or did you?
Not really.
No, not really.
We didn't know what part we were going to play.
So he didn't say to you, Mike, well, he didn't come in with a pair of joppers on and a great big lens, and a hat like old directors of old with a megaphone and say, "You're going to be a pig, and you're going to be a rabbit, and you're going to be squashed onto Mike's piggy bottom."
Yeah.
He didn't say that.
No.
Okay. So I just wonder whether you played a part, because what you talk about is something actually that's very poignant, because it's something very, very close. Obviously, the reality of your lives is because Mike, you're not too good on your legs, are you?
No.
And you are squashed on Mike because you're having to support him a lot.
That's right.
Is that the reality of you getting older?
I suppose it is, really.
With me illness is
Yeah. I got to watch him.
You got to watch
fall
him.
over a lot.
Yeah.
If you don't look where he's going.
I think we all do that, though, don't we? We don't know where we're going. We're all like to fall over. Let's bring you in, Albert, because you play what character in the Aardman animations?
The dog.
You play the dog, and you're a dog with a bone, actually, aren't you? You're a dog with a bone in your bit. You talk quite positively, don't you, about getting older? What does getting older mean to you?
First of all, I would like to say that from my experience, what I'm experiencing at this moment, not with myself personally, but with other people that I've seen around me, is like that it's a lonely life getting older, especially if you're on your own, and it's scary. And for me and my wife, we both are two elders, so to speak, and we look after each other because I'm a hill person. And my wife is also a very ill person. And without each of us looking after each other, we would be sort of lost because I tell you, it's a serious business. You know, I have got a bad complaint, so to speak, with my illness, and sometimes I'm here and sometimes I'm not here. You know, it's a serious business.
But yet, listening to you, it's about managing the serious business of any, you know, as you get older, things do go wrong, drop off, don't work in quite the way they used to.
Yes.
And you know, for some, it's inevitable. For others, it's about how they live their lives. If we're absolutely honest.
That's correct.
But it's about how you deal with it, isn't it, Albert? That's the reality. It's how you manage the now.
Yes, yes. Well, the way I manage it is to, first of all, is to keep my body active and do as much exercise as you possibly can. Eat well. Don't do the things that you normally used to do because you're not young. You're getting older. So there's a lot of habits that you did have. You got to cut out and stick to the tablets. And, you know, just be careful and be sensible. And keep your body, like I said, keep your body active. Do exercise as much as you can. Don't overdo it because I never go to the gym. But I do my exercise. And I do my walks and things like that. And keep my body in good frame.
I've never been convinced about gyms. You might as well just go and pick a building you don't want to go into and give them £40 a month. Because, I mean, why would you go to a gym?
No, I never.
Did you know you were going to be a dog, Albert?
No, I don't know what image they were going to... As a matter of fact, I didn't know that they're creating images. Like, so to speak.
I hope you all suitably are happy with your character. I haven't asked you anything. Are you all happy with your characters?
Yeah.
Because they are brilliant films. Again, have a look at the Facebook page and give us a call, 0345 905 949. Slightly different phone-in for you this morning because it's all about age today and we are celebrating age. Now, let me just bring you back, Albert. I'm going to get Paul in Withywood in just a moment. He's on the phones. But let me just... come back to you, Albert, because I mentioned elders. You used just then the word elders. In some societies, being old is a good thing. And certainly I have spoken to elders in St. Paul's, and they are the respected ones. They are the ones that everyone goes to for advice. They are the council of the community. Are you surprised when you look at other communities that that's not the same?
Well, people normally comes to me and ask me question about certain things because I don't know whether people respect me in the community or not. But I've never have any sort of odd words with my people in the community. So there must be some respect there because I always said I give respect to whoever you are, and I technically demand it if I don't get it. You're not going to disrespect me because I did not disrespect you.
Jackie's nodding here. Do you? I mean, there is that. It's easy to say, and I don't want to make it too sort of brushstroke here. But in certain communities, elders are respected, and others, it's not so. Do you find that respect? Do you find that you are treated with respect?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Yes.
You do, Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. You do as well.
Yes, I reckon so. Yeah.
Because that's a very important part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be invisible and lonely. Because
That's
being
right.
respected is important.
It is.
Bring the gents in here, Mike and Albert. Albert, I'll start with you. What Paul's saying there is about actually doesn't matter. It's the number doesn't matter. It's how you look after yourself, which is sort of what you were saying. You have to respect and be aware of your health limitations, but as long as you manage those, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, of course you can do whatever you like but what Mike is saying there, I don't know. I am not a person who is afraid of dying, so to speak. I know one day I've got to die. It's two things in life that you're sure of doing, in my opinion anyway, is to born and to die. You understand? So whenever time my age comes up, because I could say it if I want to say it now over the year, how old I am. But I'm not scared of age. The point is this. The only reason why I say I am not scared is that I have looked around and I've seen a lot of people younger than myself suffering more than myself. And I've seen younger people than myself is dying. And I listen to what is going on and I observe what is going on out there. And I'm not scared. I just deal with it as it comes.
And same for you, Mike. I mean, you mentioned yourself. You've obviously got health limitations, which we've touched on already. But apart from that, it's a number, or is it? Do you feel your age?
No, only through my illnesses, I do. Yeah, because old age just don't come alone. You get all these illnesses with you. Although I do know a few people that are older than me and as fit as a fiddle. So, and they get by really well. I wish I was like. There's one.
There's always somebody better off than you, isn't there? Yeah.
There's always one chap. I went to school with him.
Yeah.
And he plays football. He's 70 years age. He's playing football.
Good for him. We got a Jane in Henbury. Hi, Jane. Good morning.
Hi, I'm very well. Are you?
I'm very well indeed. Thank you very much. 0345 905 949. Your tips and advice for getting older. Jane, what do you do? What do you do to keep young or to stay young or perhaps buck the trend of age?
My kids keep me young, really. They're and my grandson. I'm 42, but God, I act about 22.
Right.
Well, Botox, gym, and I just enjoy life. Just always happy.
Sorry, you just said Botox gym.
Yep, I have Botox to keep me looking a bit younger.
Okay, I'll bring our guest in just a moment. Jackie, just listening to that, because obviously, I don't know. Would you have, if it was available to you, if you were in your 40s now, would you have things like Botox and fillers? No,
I wouldn't. No, I'm all right as I am. But I don't care if I'm all.
Can you understand why Jane does, though?
Yeah, I can see both sides.
That's it. It's each to the point, isn't it?
Yes, up to the individual what they do. But don't worry me, wrinkled up like a prune.
Hardly. Hardly wrinkled up like a prune. Jane, thank you for coming on and being so honest about that. Because
thank you, and happy birthday.
Oh, Jane, thank you very much indeed. I'm hoping it will be. Thank you. Let me play you some of this audio for the Aardman film. This is part of the Celebrating Age Festival. It's in Bristol at the moment. It started last weekend, runs until the 12th of October, so there's 10 more days to go. And this is about celebrating all things to do with age and dealing with some of the issues as well. Loneliness probably is one of the biggest key issues surrounding age. And when you look at the numbers that are involved here, 10 million people over the age of 65. There's another one which really surprised me when I looked into this morning. The number of people over 80. The number of people who are actually over the age of 80. Let me get that figure. I've lost it. No, but it was quite surprising. Anyway, I'll find it in just a moment. But let me play you this audio while I find that number, because it is shocking, of our stars in the studio this morning, Mike and Jackie from Bishopsworth and Albert from Eastville, who have voiced the characters of these Aardman animations.
I found when I was independent, working, looking after my family, and then they move away, and suddenly you find you're alone.
It's very easy sometimes, isn't it, to sort of think, well, I'm old now, don't have to do anything, just give up, you know. Your life you can just sort of see it going by, almost waving at you.
Well, I got a scooter. It's a nice little thing, because it's only two levers, one to go forward, one to go back, and then if you want to stop, you just take your hand off the lever.
I'm not sort of in the lonely field because I interact with people all the time.
I can't venture too far, can I?
No.
I got to be behind Mike most of the time.
Yeah. One keeps falling over.
When you get in old, keep your body active. That's the most important thing. Keep your body active. Even if you have to take up the hoover and hoover the house. That's what I do.
And all of those voices you heard there are real voices, including our guests here this morning, Albert from Eastville, Mike and Jackie from Bishopsworth. Wise words there about keeping active, hoovering the house and what have you. And wise words from both of you too about what it's like to be a couple growing older together and supporting each other. Looking at, let's just bring you back in on this, Albert. You do keep active then, obviously, but active on your terms.
Yes. I do all my activity around myself and my wife, Hazel. I will mention her name.
Morning, Hazel.
Yeah. And we are happy with each other company. We help out each other because she do my medication. I like I said, I do the hoovering, I do the washing up, I do the house, I go to the garden, I sit down, I have a rest, and things like that. I go for a walk, I do join a lot of organizations. BOPF is one of them, and also Bristol West Indian Parents and Friends Association, the Black Carers, you know them as well.
I do.
I do keep myself really active. I could just about fit you in today.
I'm very glad you could spare me an hour, Albert. I know you're not joking either. I know you're not joking.
I'm serious.
But I'm very glad you did. And Mike and Jackie, I suppose the easiest way to describe it is that this is the in sickness and in health. Isn't it? That is exactly where you got married, and here we are in sickness and in health.
Right,
but it doesn't.
That's right.
But looking at both of you, it isn't the sort of be all and end all, is it? This is not your life. This is just something you're living with and getting on with.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I agree with Albert about getting old and knowing what you can do. When you used to do it at 40 years old, you can't do it now. But sometimes you still try.
It's the old Fred Wedlock thing. It takes me all night to do what I used to do all night.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not saying you're the oldest swinger in town. I'm not accusing you of that. But it is that Fred. It's also accepting, but perhaps I don't know, trying to beat it in some way, trying to make certain that it doesn't define you.
Yeah. I've got to pay somebody now to do what I used to do when I was young.
What did you do for a living? What was your
plasterer?
So physical job, a very physical, very manual labour. Albert, what did you used to do?
Motor engineer.
So a motor engineer. So more working with your hands,
bending. With hands.
Because
a lot of strength. You got to have a lot of strength to do.
One of the things we'll take a pause in a moment. But one of the things that they're saying is one of the reasons why we're all living longer is that we're not doing the physical jobs that our parents and grandparents used to do. That manual labour, and of course, we haven't been through 2 world wars either, which would have brought the average age down. And your current health, Mike, is it because of what you used to do?
It didn't help, put it that way. Because my breathing was pulling down old ceilings and
all the stuff that
taking
was in
all the
those,
dust in,
rather than plaster and
that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, they blamed it on the smoking, so I got to put it a lot down to that.
You've stopped smoking now. Excellent. That is the right answer. There are 3 million people over the age of 80 in the UK right now. 3 million. That is the highest number ever. We are getting older. We are living longer. We need to celebrate this. We need to deal with some of the social issues that come off the back of it, certainly. But we need to celebrate it. And part of that celebration, something that's happening in the city of Bristol, is the Celebrating Age Festival, which has been going now since 2007. And part of that festival is this wonderful Aardman Animations that has been voiced by my guest this morning. The Creature Comfort Styles animation, voiced by Jackie and Mike from Bishopsworth and Albert from Eastville. I'm going to let you all go soon because, Albert, you've already told me you're far too busy to be here. How do you celebrate your age, Jackie? Do you celebrate it or do you...
No.
Oh, birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really.
You know. What about you? Do you think, I am the age I am, and I'm proud and I'm happy, and I don't care what the world thinks, Albert?
That's what I do. I just carry on as normal. I don't think about my age at all. I just do the same things I do yesterday. I do it today. Yeah. I don't worry sort of going to say, well, I am 50 or I'm 60. I'm going to celebrate it. As a matter of fact, I will get up in the morning. I say, give thanks to see this day. And and say thank you to the creator, whoever he is, you know what I'm saying, and I'm happy about it that way.
So whoever he, she, or they may be, thank them for it.
Yes.
I just wonder, and I'm going to put this too, because I want to ring Barry and Bill in as well before I let you go. Yeah. I just wonder, and I include myself in this as the media, whether we keep banging on about age all the time, and age this and age that, and governments talk about it, and MPs talk about it, and actually, it doesn't matter, Mike. That the number doesn't matter.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No?
Oh,
Do you want some water?
I got some.
You've been plastering again, haven't you? Jackie, what about you? Do you think people keep going on about when the number of people over the age of 65, this, that, and everything else? Whether in fact that's part of the problem, not part of the solution.
Yeah. Well, I don't think of it. I don't think of my age.
No?
No, not at all.
Like Albert said, it's just another ordinary day to us when on our birthday, we get presents off the kids.
Yeah.
And cards and everything, but we don't celebrate as such, not like we used to.
No.
Let me bring in, if I may, Barry in Bishopston. Barry, morning.
Good morning.
And Bill in Yate. Bill, good morning. We now have a quintet of voices. Barry, how do you celebrate your age? What's your way of dealing with how old you are?
I don't celebrate it. I'm facing growing old like a woman, fighting it every inch of the way. I dye my hair. I go down the gym 3 times a week, and so on. But the one thing I did find that somebody told me a while ago. They said that growing old is mandatory, but growing up isn't. I've been a lot happier since then.
That's an interesting philosophy. Bill, is that something that you do?
Absolutely spot on, isn't it? I mean, it's an attitude of life. You see, Barry's got an attitude of life to life. And really, that's what it's all about. You need a bit of luck along the way. I mean, let's face it, there are all sorts of factors that come into play with any age, health particularly. My own advice would be to anybody, younger person, older person, whatever, if you've got a problem and somebody says you need to see the doctor about it, get and do it. And if the doctor says do so and so, then do it. If, in other words, you're going to go against advice, and I believe, John, there's an awful lot of people out there that are doing that. They're just ignoring things and hoping it'll solve itself, resolve itself. It probably won't. So the answer is do it. Whatever you're told to do, do it. And I promise you, if your attitude is right, you can go on.
We're getting nods from our elders panel here this morning. Albert, specifically, you're nodding away going, absolutely. Do you wish you'd gone to the doctor earlier? I don't know whether you missed something that you perhaps...
No, I did miss nothing at all.
Right.
When I pension off, my doctor, I went to see my doctor.
Yeah.
I said, no, doctor, I'm retired now. And I come in for a MOT, so to speak. And I saw him and he says to me, all right, come in and see me every 6 months. All right. When I went back to see him, it was 12 months to the date. He asked me when last day. I said, 12 months to the date. He said, you're joking, aren't you? I said, no. He said, all right, you go to the BRI and you have a scan and a blood test down there. And straight away, they send back the report that I've got this problem I've got. So I said, oh my God, this is it, the end of my life. And we start to take it up in hand.
Yeah.
So we caught it just right. So at the moment, what he said, it's a problem that we cannot cure, but we can try and keep it in control. So you can
manage it, which is what Barry and Bill, you're both saying, isn't it? Right. Before I let you go, I'll get to Cora in just a moment, but before I let you go, Mike and Jackie in Bishopsworth and Albert in Eastfield, it's been an absolute treat having the voices of that animation, which I think I must have watched about 5 times yesterday evening because it was lovely. Jackie, what's your advice? I mean, you're a married couple. It is in sickness and in health. Mike's not well, but boy, is he doing everything otherwise, isn't he? You're living life to the full, Mike. What's your tip to anybody this morning who's feeling a bit lonely and a bit low because perhaps they're feeling their age for whatever reason? What's your...
Well, I don't really know what to say. Just get up and get out.
Get up and get out?
Yeah, just have a walk.
I think that's very good advice, actually. Get up and get out, because you could lie in bed or sit on the sofa all day, couldn't you?
You can.
Mike?
Well, hopefully, if they got family, they get visitors. But it's always nice if they got other visitors, friends, and people across the road popping over, which is what we do, isn't it? We visit older people worse off than us, and they love it.
Volunteering is another thing as well, isn't it? Actually going to being a hospital visitor or a prison visitor or anything, just being a visitor. Right. And Albert, what would be your sage advice?
If you're not feeling well at this present moment, go and visit your GP. That's what they're there for, to look after you.
It's fantastic having you all here this morning. It really is, just to talk to you about this project that you're involved in, and to talk to you about your ages, and you being so frank and honest as well. Albert from Eastville, I'll let you go now because I know you're a busy man. Mike and Jackie from Bishopsworth, thank you very much for coming in. Good to talk to all of you. Thank you very much indeed. Now, the Ageing Festival, Celebrating Age in Bristol. Oh, so what's that? What you got there?
Happy birthday, John.
Oh. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Bless you. Bless you. I was supposed to keep this quiet. Anyway, this programme's not about me, it's about you. But thank you very much. I'm very touched. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. 0345 905 949, text 81333. Start that text. I'm all embarrassed. Start that text with the word Bristol. Oh, dear. Celebrating Age. The Celebrating Age Festival is happening in the city of Bristol. What about you? How do you celebrate your age? How do you look after yourself? Your advice. Cora in Shirehampton. Hi, Cora.
Hello, John.
Good
Happy
morning.
Birthday.
Thank
you. Share it with my eldest grandson.
Really?
Yeah. He's
good.
30 today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Sting is also on this day as well.
Yeah.
Never get a card from him.
Oh dear.
So how do you celebrate or enjoy your age?
Well, I've got to say first of all that Aardman Animation thing which they have played yesterday on the television was brilliant.
Isn't it lovely?
It's lovely. And the lady that took the part of the cat, I thought she was brilliant. I look at it, the age is only a number. And also, I think providing you've got enough mobility, I'm fortunate, or I've had several things done. People say, oh, you're like a bionic woman. But I do keep active. And I do belong to several groups. I've got to say the Linkage group of line dancing that I belong to on a Tuesday afternoon in Shirehampton is absolutely brilliant. Christine, the teacher, is brilliant, and the people I've met and made friends with are brilliant as well.
Now, this sounds, Cora, that you have decided consciously to think, do you know what? I am going to do this because one of the most powerful forces on the planet that we are all guilty of at some points in our life is apathy, is just not doing it, because it's easier not to do something than it is to do something. And you've made a positive decision. When did you do that, or have you always been like this?
Well, I suppose I've always been like this, but I lost my husband quite suddenly 24 years ago. And I knew then it was not an easy thing. It's not. It's something you just learn to live with. But I used to do a lot of ballroom dancing with my husband, and line dancing came on board, and I joined another group then. Mm-hmm. And obviously because you didn't have to have a partner, so that was why I joined the line dancing. I also belong to a couple of clubs. I belong to a knitting and crochet group. I belong to a local history group. But I think at the end of the day, I know probably hard for some people, but I felt I had to get out and join things.
So it was losing your husband that was the catalyst. It was the kick.
Yeah, because we used to do so much together, which isn't, I'm going to say, I realise now, perhaps a good thing. I mean, we enjoyed times together. But when you lose your partner, that is when it's full, like, you know that you've got to get up on and get out and do things.
Well, there is a very interesting line about, in that Aardman animation, I don't know whether you remember it, but the very last, I think it is the cat who says it, with the chicken on the other run, and you can have a look at the video again on our Facebook page, the BBC Radio Bristol Facebook page. The last line says, "You might have quite a few years ahead yet, so let's make the best of them," which is clearly what you're doing, Cora.
Well, that's I do. I will say also, because I spoke to the lady that I spoke to before I came on to you, and I said to her, well, obviously, you do have to listen to your body.
Yes.
Because if you don't, the next day will be payback time.
And we're all... Do you know, that, I think, is the second or third time that this has been said this morning. on the programme, and we're all guilty of not doing it. And if we did it more, perhaps we would head off things at the past before they passed through. Cora, lovely to talk to you. Thank you for your birthday wishes, and thank you for being part of the programme this morning.
Thank you, John.
This morning also we're celebrating age. Have a look at the BBC Radio Bristol Facebook page. You'll see the wonderful Aardman Animations up there, which is all part of the Celebrating Age Festival in Bristol, which is in full swing. It's like the Creature Comforts things. They are beautiful, and they really do highlight some of the issues and the realities of getting older. The headline for the whole thing is Bristol, a brilliant place to grow old. Bath is too. Weston-super-Mare, of course. All of us, Yate, wherever you are. Is it not a brilliant place to grow old? But what do we need? What do you need to grow old well? Your tips and advice for us all getting older. Elaine in Eastville. We are so fortunate in this city, Bristol, with the opportunities to take up new interest in retirement. As long as a person has reasonable health, it is so important to keep active. Gyms are not to be feared, and Bristol University runs an excellent exercise programme for old adults with classes provided by an inspirational instructor. Keep active and you will find that age is just a label.